Hello, Nyajong. My name is Mykou, and welcome to HmongBaby's History Maker series. If you don't know what the History Maker series is, let me tell you all about it. I'm sitting down with 3 Hmong women pioneers and exploring how they were able to reach their dreams with the hopes that their tips will also help you and your kids achieve your dreams as well. If you don't want to miss any of these interview videos, go ahead and go to HmongBaby.com/historymakers, and I will put one of these videos in your inbox each week. In conjunction with these video interviews, I am launching my book called Mykou Thao. And Mykou Thao features a whimsical and courageous Hmong girl named Ngao Lu. She reminds us that we are so much more capable than we even realize. In today's interview, we'll be talking with Megan Khang. And if you don't know who Megan is, she is the world's first professional Hmong golfer. Megan started playing golf at the age of 5. She competed for 7 years in the United States Golf Association's U.S. Girls Championship. She also helped Team USA win the Junior Solheim Cup and was the only player to go 5-0. In 2016, at the age of 18, she chose not to go to college and instead to play golf professionally. I'm so honored to have Megan join us today to share her story and also to give us tips on how we can raise kids to pursue their dreams as well. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, Megan, thank you so much for joining me on today's interview. I have been so looking forward to it. And I'm just glad that we've been able to make it happen because you are a very busy woman. So, watch out.
Oh, thank you so much. It's really an honor to talk to you about this. I'm excited to share a little more about myself.
Awesome. You have been able to do what so many people haven't done or been able to do, and that is to play professional golf. And there just aren't even a lot of Hmong professional athletes out there, so you are making history. So awesome. But before we dig into this, into golf, I want to kind of start from the beginning. Can you share with us a little bit about where you were born and raised and just a little bit about your childhood?
So when I was younger, I was born in Brockton, Massachusetts. Stayed in Massachusetts my life, but before I picked up golf, I actually did a lot more skiing and snowboarding in the winter. And then as I started to pick up golf, I eased off the skiing and snowboarding just to prevent injuries.
Those are
I started to realize,
those are kind of dangerous sports. That's what my mom always said because I did snowboarding too.
Yeah, so I mean, as I started growing up and started taking golf more seriously, we just kind of cut back on the snowboarding because in the long run, you don't want anything to happen because if anything does happen, then it kind of jeopardizes your future.
So you've always been really active and done a lot of sports.
Yeah, I've definitely always been active. I did little soccer around, never took soccer super serious. I was constantly outside. I never really wanted to be inside.
Yeah.
But no, I loved snowboarding. I still love snowboarding. I'm still trying to convince my dad to let me go.
But it's dangerous, right? Parents are like, but it's dangerous. You're going to break something. But it hurts too, though. Seriously, like when you face plant, oh my goodness. Yeah.
And I don't remember the last time I face planted, so that's good.
Oh, so you're good at it. Okay, never mind. Okay, so then what did you want to be when you were younger?
When I was younger, I didn't even think about golf. When I was younger, I wanted to be a veterinarian or a lawyer. But I think every kid wanted to be that.
Did your parents want you to be a lawyer and doctor and all that too, or?
I think my parents just supported me in anything that I wanted to be, as long as I committed 100% to it. And then I didn't really decide that I wanted to be a pro golfer until it was 8th grade, and my English teacher at the time was like, oh, where do you guys see yourself 10 years from now? And I mentioned the veterinarian and lawyer and stuff like that, but then what I really wanted to be was on the LPGA, and my teacher had no clue what I was talking about, and none of my friends knew what I was talking about, and it was really funny because then I got to my goal faster than 10 years, and I don't think a lot of my friends can say that.
Yeah. So do you have friends who play golf at all? I mean, like friends that you grew up with who play golf?
So because I grew up in Massachusetts, not a lot of people did play golf as competitively as I did. I have my school friends where I didn't have to talk about golf with them. It was just very nonchalant. We didn't talk about golf because I knew they didn't understand.
Yeah.
They didn't really care. And
It's
it
a
was
whole
like a
different
mutual feeling.
world. Yeah.
It was a mutual feeling because, like, when I came back from golf tournaments, I didn't really want to talk about golf with them. I just wanted to be like, oh, what I miss and stuff like that. And then because I started competing at such a young age, I met friends from all over the world. So, like,
That's so cool.
some of my closest friends are, like, from Florida or California or Hawaii. And it's just crazy how close you can get to people just because of the game.
Yeah, and do you see them pretty regularly? Like, do they compete with you at these tournaments, or do you guys just kind of stay in touch through, like, social media?
So when I was younger and I was still playing junior golf, I definitely saw a lot of my golf friends throughout the summer because we'd always play the same tournaments. But now that I'm on tour, it's kind of hard because some of my friends end up going to college.
Yeah.
So because of that, we don't really see each other often. But I do have a couple friends who I did play junior golf with out here with me. So it's really cool how we transitioned from junior golf to professional golf.
Yeah, that's awesome that you kind of have a group of people to do that with. So, okay, tell me about how you even started getting into golf, since you said, I never was even into golf. I was doing, like, snowboarding and all these other things.
Yeah, so I got into golf because my mom had to remind my dad that he had a little kid, and when I was about 5 years old, my dad finally was like, okay, like, let's go to the golf course.
So your dad was teaching golf, or?
My dad was just learning golf in 2000.
Okay.
So 2002, he was 2 years into golf, still learning, and he, like, enticed me to play golf because he told me if I kept my golf ball in the fairway, I'd be able to drive the golf cart. And, like, the only rules were I couldn't drive on holes 1, 9, 10, and 18 only because the clubhouse would see and we'd get in trouble for it. But I guess, like, ever since then, I kind of just had a knack for the game. And a couple years later, I started competing, and I just realized I was like, oh, hey, I'm pretty good at this. Like, I can win and stuff like that. So then, like, as I started growing up, I started getting more competitive, and I liked the fact that I didn't have to rely on, like, teammates because, I mean, there's no one else to blame in golf.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty much just you, right? So how old were you when you started, like, playing?
So I started at 5, but I didn't really start competing until maybe I was, like, 6 or 7.
Okay, wow, so young, yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, very cool. So then, would you say that your parents are supportive of you? I mean, it seems like it. I see your dad.
My parents, yeah.
Yeah, I see your dad out there. He's, like, carrying your bag for you and stuff. I was like, oh, that's so cute.
My parents are definitely supportive of me. When I was graduating high school and it was decision to go to college or turn pro, they were like, it's totally up to you. If you decide to go to college, it will support you. But if you decide to turn pro, we'll also support you. But you just got to make sure you're happy. And it was a hard decision, I think.
Yeah.
And I decided to turn pro, and then I haven't looked back since.
Yeah, so that was in 2015 when you decided to go pro, right?
It was the fall of 2015 I decided to turn pro.
Okay, so tell me about that. Like, what was the thinking process and all of that? Obviously, it's scary as well to, think about, like, doing this professionally. Like, what were some of those fears? And also, what did you have to let go of in order to pursue this?
So when I was still in high school, my senior year, I went on an official visit to one college, and I was the only girl who wasn't committed to the school at that time. So they pulled my dad and I aside and was like, hey, so you've seen the school, you see what we can provide, like, are you going to commit to us? And I was like, I looked at my dad and we both go, yeah, no, we're gonna not commit because we don't want to, like, cause any problems. And they're like, what do you mean cause problems? And I was like, well, put it this way, like, if I decide I'm going to commit to you guys and you guys stop looking for a potential player and I decide to turn pro last minute, you guys are going to get screwed over because I decided I was going to turn pro when I told you I was going to come play for you. And they were like, oh, okay, like we totally understand. So I told them my game plan was to stay amateur for the rest of the year 2015, and then go to Q school, which is how you get your LPJ card.
Okay.
Go to Q school as an amateur, and if I made it, I was going to turn pro. But if I didn't, then I would go to their school in 2016.
So is this like with a scholarship to play golf for them then, or?
Yeah, with the full scholarship and everything. I didn't have to pay for anything. And I ended up turning pro before the last stage, and I gave them a call and I let them know what happened, and they were very understanding. They were happy for me at the same time. Kind of sad, but in the end, I think I made a good decision.
Yeah, you're happy with it?
I'm definitely happy with it. I think you can always go back to college, but you can't make up for the years that you could have been out here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you've been able to travel the world. You've been able to do so many things. Just what? Because you turned pro was it 2015?
End of 2015. Like, it was literally November, December.
Okay. So then you have this quote on your Instagram profile, which I think is great. Do you know what it is? Yeah. Do you want me to share it with you?
Yes, please.
Okay, so it says, mistakes are proof that you are trying. And then hashtag never give up. Can you tell me about that quote? And then also, how has it played out for you in your life?
That quote shows you how much I know about that quote. I totally forgot it was on my
Hey, it's a good quote.
Instagram. I guess it's because, like, I went through, like, some tough times, like, really deciding if I was really cut out for this, because being, like, 18 out here with a bunch of girls who have been out here for so long, and there's a lot of the girls that do come out here, like, go to college first and graduate. So it was just kind of, like, a little confidence boost that, like, hey, you're going to make mistakes, but, I mean, you're still trying, and just get back up again, because, I mean, you only fail if you stop trying.
Yeah, right. Yes, that is such a good perspective to have. I always say that, like, failure is a must if you want to live a meaningful life, right? Like, if you want to pursue your dreams, if you want to stand for anything, like, you have to fail and face, like, those failures head on and be courageous instead of just comfortable. So
yeah, definitely. And if you don't feel feel bad about it, then you really didn't care that much.
Right. Yeah. And okay, so this might be kind of a weird question, but I think it's a really good question because, like I said, I think failure is so important. So what is a favorite failure of yours? And what I mean by that is, what's something that you failed at terribly, but it actually set you up for great success later, a success that probably wouldn't have happened if, you never failed previously.
Transportation? Oh, I believe she's in there. Sorry.
It's all good.
So one of the biggest failures I had, it wasn't like necessarily a big failure. It was just kind of, I guess I'd consider it as a fail. When I was younger, I was doing this qualifier out in Ohio because it was the only qualifier that I was able to do because of my schedule. And I was like, if I had just parred the last two holes, I would have medaled and I would have easily gotten into the U.S. Women's Amateur, it's like a big deal for amateur golfers. And the best part was it was like in Rhode Island, so it was only an hour away and I could stay at home and stuff like that. But then I finished like double and I bogeyed the last hole, so I had to go to a playoff. And then I bogeyed in the playoff and I lost.
Oh, it was just a bad day.
So it was just kind of like I got ahead of myself, and it just kind of kept like stacking up on top of mistake after mistake. And so I ended up not getting into the tournament. I was first alternate, and I still decided that like, I'm just going to go to the golf tournament in case someone decides not to show up. That way I'm going to be the person on site. That would like automatically get the call to go in. And it was the worst feeling going to the golf course, knowing that I wasn't in the field and like all my friends that I knew were in there. And like we like made eye contact with my friends and it was just kind of awkward because they knew I didn't make it into the tournament.
Yeah.
I knew I didn't make it into the tournament, and it was just I felt so awkward and kind of sad because it was right in our backyard, and I could have easily gotten in if I just parred one hole.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I guess I consider that as a fail. And then like the next year, I qualified for like everything. I qualified for the U.S. Girls, the Women's Amateur, the U.S. Women's Open.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that kind of like pushed me to like I'm not gonna miss it again.
Yeah. And I get to stay home and
Yeah, I'm not gonna stay home and watch my friends.
yeah,
so
but good for you though. I mean,
there.
like seriously, Megan, like that shows a lot about just like who you are, you know, like even though you didn't make it, although it's like embarrassing to go out there and you feel like a failure, still to go out there and just be like, you know what, like even though I didn't make it, like I'm still here just in case. And so yeah, I think that's, you know, like who knows, opportunities happen when you do that, right? Like when you just take chances, when you're willing to be like, okay, whatever.
It was the worst feeling I ever had, and I didn't want that feeling again.
Yeah. Yeah, but see, that's the thing, right? Like failure pushes you forward. I think that life is, I don't know, life is kind of like interesting, right? Like these failures propel you forward, but a lot of it has to do with perspective. I think that, you know, if you fail or if something happens to you, you can just kind of play the victim card and say, oh, well, like people are just against me. It was because of this. It was because of that. It wasn't my fault. Or you can say like, okay, what can I learn from this? And how can I use that so that next time when I get this opportunity again, like that doesn't happen again? Or how can I use this experience to help other people, right? And I think that...
Yeah, there's definitely two ways to look at it. And if you're looking at it as, it's never my fault, it's always someone else's fault, then you're just looking at it the wrong way because no one's going to go out of their way to do stuff for you. You have to take charge of your own life, and you can change things if you try hard enough.
I love that. You know, so I had an interview with Dr. Mykou Thao. She's the CEO of the Wilder Foundation here in Minnesota, which is a huge, huge, huge nonprofit. And they're doing really cool stuff. But she kept saying, you know, like the world isn't going to hand you things. Like you need to go and do it yourself. And I always say that you need to take responsibility for your life, right? Like we're co-creators of our life. We get to make things happen. And even though, you know, you can experience a lot of suffering, you can experience a lot of pain in life, you choose what the outcome is. It's how you overcome
it that makes you who you are.
Yes, and that's so good. So good. So, such a great story. So then, okay, so you're in Phoenix right now, and you will be playing for the Founders Cup this week.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Still a little tired, but I mean, I'm happy to be in the warm weather. It was cold at home.
Yeah, I know. I know. Minnesota's cold. But then
I love Phoenix, so it's a great spot.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I was looking at the golf course because I was just checking up on you, and I was like, dang, it's gorgeous there. It's like, yeah, so warm. I wish I were there right now. Okay, so 2 years ago, 2016, you played for the Founders Cup, right? And I was just reading articles, and you know they were saying like, oh, like nobody knew who Megan was, and I was reading about how your dad's car was going to get towed, and they're like, oh, does it really belong here? You know, like what was it like for you to go out there and people not knowing who you were, people like not even thinking you belonged there, and then placing fourth, like tying for fourth? What was that like?
So it wasn't that. So like it was my rookie year, so I obviously hadn't made a name for myself yet. I played well in the Bahamas, which was our first event that year, and I opted not to play into Australia because I didn't want to travel across the world to play one tournament. So Founders was my second tournament as a rookie, and the reason why our car got towed was because I went to go register and they gave me a sticker. So this week we get a sticker to put on our cars to let them know that, like, yeah, our car is supposed to be here. It's meant to be here and stuff like that. They had given me last year's sticker, so it wasn't. It was the previous year's sticker, so it wasn't the current year sticker. Okay. So they were like, "Oh, this person like faked the sticker," and
tell him out of here, get him out.
It was so funny because we had just finished practice and we were going to where we knew we parked the car, and there was another car parked there. And my dad's like, Megan, I thought we parked here. I'm like, yeah, we did, but I think something happened. He goes, well, yeah, but like, what do you mean? I go, Dad, there's tire tracks. Like, I think they towed our car. And I had to run inside and ask people, does anyone know where our car is? It's this color, it's this make, it's this license plate. And thankfully, they didn't take it to like a junkyard or the impound or whatever.
Or you had to go and pay for it, yeah.
It was just in like another parking lot, but it had like a boot on it, and we were like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, stressful, right?
It was the funniest thing ever.
At least you can laugh about it now.
Because I had been playing, like, I was just practicing, and then we come back, and boom, car's gone.
But that's so cool, though, that you were able to place fourth, even though it was just your second game, like, professionally, right? Like, I don't know, like, what was that like? You got fourth place, you know, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, we're just here to play golf, and I guess I didn't tend to really look at the scoreboard. And I was having a really good week. I was happy. I was playing relaxed golf. I was playing with some friends during the rounds, and everything just kind of clicked that weekend. At the end of the week, I ended up finishing tied for fourth, and it was I think it was my highest finish for my rookie year.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, very, very cool. So what is it like for you to play professional golf, like for the LPGA, as a Hmong woman? Do people ask you a lot, hey, what is Hmong?
Everyone out here just kind of, like, when I was first out here, everyone kind of just assumed I was Korean.
Or, yeah.
But I spelled my last name wrong. And I was like, no, I'm a Khang, but I'm not Korean. And they'd ask, like, what am I? I was like, oh, I'm Hmong. And then I have to, like, tell them a little backstory. And they just go, oh, that's so cool. And then it's different because, like, not many people know about the Hmong people. And as I've, like, done well the past couple years, more people are starting to know more about the Hmong people.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool being the first one out here, and I hope there are more to come.
Yeah, well, I think with all these little Hmong girls practicing golf, like, maybe, you know. But, okay, so, you know, you're playing golf with all of these people who have been playing since they're little as well, I assume. Like, you know, what is it like? Like, you know, you come from a different type of, like, background, right? Like, the Hmong people don't really play golf that much, right? Like, I don't know, do you...
Hmong people is more like volleyball and soccer.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like, you know, you were talking before about not sure, like, do I belong here? Or obviously, like, that has to do with you being really young as well. Like, how have you come to a place where you're more comfortable?
I think I've gotten more confidence in myself, and that's definitely helped me come a long way. Because, I mean, I totally forgot the question.
Oh, just how did you come to a point where you're more comfortable with who you are, and with playing golf with these other people who've been playing since they're really little as well?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, everyone out here definitely started at a young age. It's rare that you get someone who started late in life. And I mean, everyone out here just respects each other, that yes, you're also a good golfer. So I think as the respect started getting around and I started making a better name for myself, it's kind of gotten to that point where these girls aren't so much better than they've had more experience than me, yes, but I can hold my own out here. And as I've, like, had higher finishes and it's gotten better, I think it just kind of helped me solidify, like, myself, that I do belong out here. And I mean, it's anyone's week. Anyone can win out here.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes, like, you know, you just have awesome days, right?
Yeah. And
or,
I
like,
have
days
my
where it's
parents
just, like,
who are constantly reminding me that, like, you are good enough and you belong out here. And that helps a lot.
Yeah. Would you say that your parents are kind of like your biggest fans?
They're my biggest fans and my harshest critics.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Well, you know, like I said, your parents support you like crazy. What is, you know, one or two things that they have done that has been correct? Like, you know, to support you in your dreams and stuff? One practical thing, obviously they say, go Megan, go, but like, what do they do to really encourage you?
They definitely remind me that we don't come from the same, what's it called, social class as some of these people. And like, they're constantly reminding me, like, look, like, yes, you have to work hard, but it's for a good reason. Cause like, they keep me grounded while they push me. So I think that's definitely helped me as a person to grow. Cause I mean, there's people out here where they've had money, they have money, and they don't necessarily have a lot of push. But with my parents constantly reminding me that we aren't the most well-to-do family, and as long as I keep loving it and having fun, they say you're gonna do well out here. And I think just because they remind me, like, hey, just remember, you're never gonna be too big for your parents.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah. I think, you know, what you're talking about, just like, you know, we didn't come from like the same class as these people. I think that like it's easy to sometimes think like, man, that sucks, you know, like I have all these disadvantages. I didn't have all these, you know, trainers and whatever since I was little. But I think that you can, right. So this goes back to the perspective thing, right? You can just say like, oh, woe is me. Like life kind of sucks because of that. Or you could say, yes, I didn't have those things, but because of that, like I'm a way harder worker. I like, you can use it as fuel. And I think that actually helps us build resilience, you know, like to be hard workers and to like really, like, I don't know, like for me, my husband always says, Mykou, you have such a holy stubbornness. It's what has helped you get to where you are in life, you know? And so I think having that groundedness is actually a good thing.
I think it is too. I mean, there are people that are going to be like, oh, but like, why would you want to work that hard? And I go, why not? I want to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, you're already good. Yeah, but I'm not great.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
No, and that's great, you know, to just always think like, okay, I'm not competing like against people. Like it's just for me to move on to the next level. Yeah. Very, very cool. Very cool. Okay. So last year you played at the Blue Bay LPGA and you did like, you got third place, which is like a big deal, right? And then you were in Thailand last month. You got 12th place. So what do you have coming up next? Obviously, you have the Founders Cup. Anything else that you're really excited about?
So we got Founders, and then we have the Kia Classic. And then after Kia, it's our first major of the year. So I'm excited to get the first major started.
Okay.
We got a couple weeks leading up to it, so hopefully confidence and everything starts to sink into place. And we'll go into the week with a lot of confidence and feeling 100% about my game.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I am excited. I'm following you on Instagram now, so I will see all the things that you do, and I'm sure it'll be an awesome year.
Posting.
It's okay. It's fine. I'm not consistent either. But okay, so what is, kind of just to wrap up, what is one advice that you would give to a young Hmong girl who has dreams, but she doesn't know how to get there?
I would tell any Hmong kid, girl or boy, that if you really feel this desire to do something, whether it's like you want to go to college, get that 4-year degree, or you want to do something professional, or you just want to do something you're very passionate about, I say go for it, because you don't want to look back on life and go, man, like I wish I had done it when I was younger, because if you don't try when you're young, you'll never know, and you'll just be old regretting that you never tried.
Yeah.
And if you are going to try, you have to try 100% though. You can't just go 50% and go, oops, like I guess it's not meant to be. Like you have to give it your all, because if you give it your all and you don't succeed, then you can say I really tried my best and there's no regrets. But if you don't try your 100% and you don't end up with the result you wanted, can you really say that you tried? No, because you didn't give it your all.
Right.
So if whatever you decide to do, just try to do it 100%, because if you're not going to try 100%, then I wouldn't do it.
Right. Then you're not actually, are you like really passionate about it? Do you really want to do it, right? That's the question.
Yeah, don't waste your time doing something you're half-heartedly doing. You want to use your time wisely because you can't take it back.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And I would say, right, like, and I feel like young people don't always know what they want to do for the rest of their life. Like Megan, you knew at a young age, like, I want to do pro golf. But a lot of people are kind of like, I don't know what I want to do. But I would still say the same thing. Like, whatever you do, just choose something that you enjoy enough and then do it like with your whole heart. Do it 100% because that will lead you to the next thing. And that will help you gain skills that will help you reach, you know, your goals, right? Like when you come to a point where you're like, okay, this is what I want to do. You'll be ready because you'll have accomplished things because you would have put your whole heart, you would have done it 100%, you know? So yeah. So
and I mean, even if it's like your goal is to go to college for 4 years, but you don't know what you want to major in, I'd say just like go to maybe like a small school where you're not going to get yourself in a lot of debt. And then after maybe 2 years and you find out what you really want to do, then move on to that bigger school. That way you can get that degree from the bigger school that you wanted. Because I mean, no one's going to look at the first 2 years and go, oh, she went to like a community college. Like
nobody looks at it at all.
It's where you get the degree.
Right.
Like even that, if you do well in whichever major or college like you decide to do, like you're going to get recognized for it.
Yes, that's a good tip too. Yeah. All right. So then is there, for you as, you know, somebody who's pursuing your dreams, like, do you have an advice that you would give to parents to just help them so they can help their kids pursue their dreams? What are things parents can do to help their kids pursue their dreams?
I
know you're not parents, but
I haven't looked on the parent side of things.
But you have parents, you know.
I have parents. I'm always looking from the child perspective. I guess like if I were a parent and I wanted my kid to succeed, I would push them to a point where, yes, I'm pushing them, but it has to be their decision that they want to do it. Like if I have to force them to go, then maybe it's not the right decision for them. You can only push them so much, and if they don't reciprocate about wanting to do something, don't force it, because the more you force it, they're not going to want to do it. But I mean, if you find that one passion that your kid has, by all means support it 100%, because you don't want the kid to go, you never supported me, you didn't back me up. Like, you just gotta like be positive, try not like, there's gonna be some tough spells, and obviously I've went through it, been there, done that. And I mean, in the end, you just gotta remember families first, because obviously parents and kids will butt heads, but I mean, as long as you remember, yes, I want them to do well, but you know what, you're my kid first. We're not gonna let a stupid sport get in the way, because in the end, the sport doesn't mean anything, because family's more important. And that's how my family looks at it. Yeah,
I think that's great. Yeah, and I think it's so good that your parents are like, you know what, like, Megan, we'll support you as long as you love it. You know, we'll do whatever it is to support you as long as you're doing something that you love. So yeah, so good. That's really cool. All right, so that is all I have for you. Do you have any last recommendations, suggestions, anything that you want people to do? Go to your Facebook page to like it, or anything?
Yes, go to my Facebook page. It's Megan Khang. It's not Megan Khang. I don't know who that one is. But yeah, go like my Facebook.
Yeah, and then also, like, when you play, like, is it broadcasted on the sports channels? Where can we watch it?
Oh, yeah. So LPGA is constantly on the Golf Channel. Depending on the week, it varies, because the men and women obviously play at the same times. But definitely tune into the Golf Channel this week. I believe we're broadcasting in prime time, I want to say.
Okay. Very cool. All right. That's it. Thank you so much, Megan. I really appreciate it. I think that there's a lot of great lessons for us to learn, and also just to help us teach our kids to pursue their dreams and do things like what you have done. really, really cool things to make history. So, 我这样。
Thank you. It was nice talking to you.
You too.